right, and we are live, Miss Jenny J.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good
That's
on this
good.
Friday. Feel
That
like
is
it's been a
good.
long week.
It's been a pretty long week, but we're at the weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We are at the weekend. 10 o'clock, work week, hustle week, whatever type of week it's been for you. I'm glad you're here checking in with us. Special thanks to all the folks that have been watching the show. Another special thanks to the folks that have followed us on TikTok. So looks like our little presence is starting to gain a little muster here. You're gonna be a celebrity before you know it, Jenny J. You know what? Let
Yeah.
me go ahead and get started with some crypto news because the market is it's been down, but I'm looking at it now and now I see green. Bitcoin 20,550 right now, so plus 2.5%. We got ETH at 1468. That's up 2.5%. Now, for the week, I think everything's down like big time, almost 10%. So, you know, close your eyes, read a book, watch a movie, watch YouTube, do something. Because we're in here for the long haul. Might be in that. What do you think about that, Jenny?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to weather the storm
Weather the
and
storm?
weather the storm right now, and things are gonna change soon. I would think, and if it doesn't, it would change eventually. So
Yeah.
hang in there.
Yeah. So, in other news throughout the week here, let's see what we got. Um, I'm looking at some interesting stuff. Chris Rock did a Netflix special called Selective Outrage. He got back at Will Smith for that Grammy smack. The slap heard around the world. Remember that?
Yeah. It seems like a long time ago.
It does seem like a long time ago. Um, Feels like it was forever ago. So yeah, that right there, that happened, and he's saying that he's embarrassed and hurt by Chris Rock's special.
Aw. I'm sure Chris Rock
Embarrassed,
was not embarrassed and hurt by his slap. He wasn't.
yeah, embarrassed, yeah, and hurt. You know. So now those two are now officially entangled. So I guess we can expect drama there
Right.
for the short term. Let's see what else is going on. We got Weight Watchers. They jumped. Um, they're not going to get in the prescription weight loss drug business.
Well, yeah. Uh,
Think about
Oprah
that one.
apparently, Oprah apparently is taking a prescription drug, and uh, um, she's a spokesperson for Weight Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
So people are kind of giving them the side eye because she's been saying her weight loss was due to um, Weight Watchers, but apparently it's been due to prescription meds.
Oh, okay.
Right. So in order to kind of, I guess she's kind of trying to clean it up.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to follow her lead. Um, if you can do something easy like that, take a
Yeah.
pill or something and, curb your hunger, I think a lot of people are going to go for that.
Well, the problem with this particular medication that they're using, it is for diabetics. It's
Oh,
not
really?
for the average Joe laying on his couch, not wanting to move. So that's going to create a shortage for people who really need it.
Really?
Right. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, so the stock's up. All my financial people out there, take note of that. Got Oprah backing, so definitely that could make some waves. See what else we got here going on this week. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry. The royal website has been updated to show Prince Archie Harrison and Princess Elizabeth Diana their titles. So they've updated them. They're now recognizing them as royalty, I guess. Or maybe the prior name was that royalty?
Yeah, I think people were wondering if they would be mentioned as royalty because of the rift between father and son.
Hmm.
However, it seems as if they're doing exactly what I think any family will do is um, make amends. The grandchildren didn't do anything wrong, um, so why not allow them their title? Um, so that was nice of them. I thought whatever, families go through stuff, families say things against each other, but it's great when you can see that they are still supporting the youngsters who didn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, because those babies, I mean, they don't even look mixed just yet to me when I'm
No,
looking at them right
not
now.
just yet. And
Maybe the one on the left, but I don't know. Maybe it's too early to tell.
I do think that if you think about it, they would be a quarter black. So, you know, I I really don't see them actually showing their black heritage. I think,
Well, not too
uh,
much. It'll
yeah,
show,
not too much.
regardless if they wanted to or not.
Right. But people won't come up to them on the street and be like, you look black. That won't happen. But I'm sure because they're so famous, it will be well documented.
Yep, yep. What else we got going on? I was shocked to see my man Sean Kemp arrested in the headlines. It was like in a drive-by shooting.
Mm.
Like he was NWA or something like that. Like, go on 1990 drive-by style. I'm like, what's up, Sean? Then when I read the story, apparently somebody, I guess they broke into his car and they stole his phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what you do, right? When somebody steals your phone, right? You
Right.
track, where's my phone?
Right. Right. Right.
So he tracks his phone. He goes to pull up to the car in a parking lot. And as he's pulling up to the guys, they start popping off shots at him.
Right.
So then he starts returning fire from his vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, in the state of Washington, firing a weapon in or near the facility of a vehicle constitutes as a drive-by shooting.
Okay.
So, I mean, it
Um.
seems like this is self-defense. He since has been released on bail here, so I guess he's going to fight the charge and say, hey, tell them what to serve. He actually stayed at the scene. He didn't run anywhere or do anything. The other guys fled, but he stayed there to cooperate with the police.
I have two things. One, he's famous. When it comes to iPhones, you can actually just
Remember
turn
Sean
off.
Kemp? This guy?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can turn off the you can turn off your everything on your phone and and pull all the data from it immediately. You don't have to go look for it. And a man of his stature could just purchase another one.
Mm.
He could have put himself in a lot of danger. He could have gotten killed.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, whoa, and you was it 54?
mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
Right. So I really don't think that was, in he was thinking clearly about
Somebody
that.
stole his stuff. He wanted his stuff. He was probably outraged.
Right.
Had his weapon, felt invincible.
Right.
I mean, I know when he pulled up to that car, they started firing those shots off. Things got real though, but he returned fire. So that's luckily he had his weapon with him.
But
Um,
my thing is, would they consider it a drive-by shooting if it was another race?
well, that's what they say the law is, but you know, the application of the law seems to vary depending
Who you are.
on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that gets into a whole criminal justice reform thing that
Right.
uh, is a way deeper discussion than what happened right here. So
Mm-hmm.
let's wish Sean Kent well.
Right.
Let's see what else we got here. There's a lot of news going on this week. We got you remember these guys?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the black couple that in California that they kicked off the whole real estate appraisal discrimination
Mm-hmm.
awareness. And what happened is they were trying to sell their home in California. They brought it for like maybe $500,000 or $600,000 initially. They put a lot of work into it, added like 1,000 square feet, and then they went to get it appraised. And I guess the appraiser said it was worth like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought it was too low. What they did is they took down all the black paintings, all the art, everything out the house that would, lead you to assume black folks live there. They had a white friend come and show the house as if they lived there. Appraiser came in, gave him 1.495. So
Mm-hmm.
$500,000 more
Mm-hmm.
when it wasn't that a black family was living at the residence. Isn't that something?
Right.
We still dealing with this today. You know what I'm saying? And that's like
Right.
on a, that's on a slimy scale, to be honest with you, because
Right.
that appraisal was important. I don't know if I got any homeowners in the building, but I mean, that is like a real wealth creation in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use that to get access to loans. You can pull out equity. There's a lot of different things you can do with those funds. And when you're denied that or given less than other people for no apparent reason, it has an impact.
Right.
So they were able to settle that lawsuit, and I guess so. The appraiser, her name is Miller. She was an older white woman. So part of the settlement is she has to attend a training session on the history of segregation and real estate
Right.
discrimination. Let's see, and then let's see here. She also let's see here. Uh, she agrees not to discriminate in the future, right? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And she has agreed to watch a 76-minute documentary called "Our America Lowballed"
Mm.
about discriminatory practices in the appraisals industry. Yeah. So, I think probably for them it was the principle of the matter. But I'm kind of, I'm glad that they, was smart enough to say, hey, this ain't right. And they went and did something about it. A lot of times we complain about stuff, we don't take any action to
Right.
do anything about it to get a better outcome. So this channel is all about, you know, positivity, uplifting, and education, and about creating wealth. So when you get wealth, you're gonna be able to make sure that you're being treated fairly.
Right.
Um, and that actually, you know what, and that actually leads me to something else. And I'm gonna bring it up because I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up last time. But I'm gonna bring it up this time, just because I think it's really, really important. I think it's really important here. Let's see here. Give me a second. I want to grab this quickly. There we go. I want I want to make sure that everyone can see this because as I just talked about, this channel and what kind of like what we're about, everyone should pay attention to this guy right here. Okay? It's not new news, but it's news because this guy right here, his name is Alex Murdaugh. Okay? So this guy right here sentenced to 2 life terms for the double murder of his wife and son. This dude comes from a long line of family lawyers out of South Carolina. I mean, so, you know, as you create wealth, you don't create happiness. Happiness is created by the individuals that are around you, and the time that you're able to spend with them. Money kind of alleviates, it's important. It alleviates a lot of the barriers and stressors that we have throughout the day, but it's not everything. And this right here is a clear example of that. This man had everything. And he went to as so far as to, kill his wife and his son. He had two sons. What? Yeah, two sons. I think maybe three. I have to check. Um, but I guess he just killed who was in front of him. But he killed them because apparently he was on painkillers. So apparently he was spending all his money on painkillers. Not like small amounts of money. He's like, they're talking hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars of painkillers. And they think he was doing that because he was embezzling money from his law firm. Um, a year before these murders, his maid, apparently, she died. They say she fell down the front steps of the residence, died from a head injury. There wasn't a coroner report. There wasn't even a police report. That's how powerful these guys were. And you want to know what is even more shocking than that? Is that the children filed a lawsuit, like a wrongful death type thing. And apparently, they won a verdict. Let's see here. How much was it for? The children of the maid, they won a lawsuit here for, let's see, it's in here somewhere, 4.3 million. And he was in charge of it. But apparently he got the money and never gave it to the kids. $4.3 million. What do you think? They were just going to go to sleep and forget about that? So he was already under the gun just due to the pressure mounting, from them saying, hey, bro, where's my money? And he was just one of apparently hundreds of people that this guy was taking settlements from. So that's probably why he was on the painkillers and the drugs. And then eventually the kids found all the pills, the pill stash. And then shortly after, they both ended up dead. So I say all that just to say that, no matter what you got out there, you know what I'm saying? It's and what you're striving to achieve financially, take stock of the things that really matter. Look around you, find out who's important, try to have some fun times with them, So don't end up like that guy. That guy was a complete loser. And it's a good thing that his ancestors aren't there to see what he, a worthless piece of, what he turned out to be. So let's see what else we got in the news. Isn't that sad?
It is sad. I think there are so many factors here that eventually all the funds that he acquired, stealing it from a family, getting it from an inheritance, still did not create the bliss he expected. So that's pretty sad.
And of course, the Americans kidnapped, two dead. The cartel, apparently, these five guys laying on the ground here. Apparently, the cartel wrote a letter and said, "Hey, these are the guys that took those people and killed two of them. They didn't have our permission to do it, so take them." So, you know what that means, right?
The cartel is a reputable group in Mexico.
The cartel is a reputable group. They probably care about Black Lives Matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're that type of, they're that type of organization.
Right.
So, the thing about this is
they're men of honor.
Yeah. Yeah. In allegiance to the dollar.
Right.
So the State Department, if you look at this map right here, these red areas here, these are the places where they have a do not travel uh, advisory,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this Tamaulipas, so you can see is these areas here. Looks like on the west coast, the Cantacas. Anyone's in Mexico, I'm not saying these things right. I apologize. Come on, tell me what I'm doing wrong here. I got a link in the description. Anyone out there feels like we're saying something they want to partake in, hit the link, cut on your video. We'll get you on. This is all inclusive show. So this Tamaulipas, if you go and look at the Google Maps, that actual area is right here. And as you can see, I mean, it's literally like if you're in San Antonio, you're in Texas, Corpus Christi, I mean, you can just drive right down into there. So there's the border, and here it is right here. So somewhere along here where they were driving, this is where the whole incident happened. And, like I said, the cartel basically turned these guys over. What I suspect is one of two things, maybe one of many things, but two things that come immediately to mind. That one, when you got the State Department putting out, an advisory, everybody's money is now getting messed up. You got spring break coming on, people talking about Mexico has a lot of business out there that the cartel probably runs or gets part of the profits. Old school mafiosos now, people paying rent for security, protection, what have you. And a lot of that income isn't going to be seen now. So you probably got all of the families looking at that one family saying, if you guys don't do something about this, we're going to do something about y'all. Or you could just have that particular family say, hey, you brought a lot of attention to us that we don't like. You're out of control. Turn yourself in, or, they probably know all their families and everything else. So I would imagine they're not willfully going there. They probably know that there's, more things than just them dying that could happen. Right? So, yeah, so that's that. And that leads me into, another discussion, which is, the reason why these guys were actually trying to cross the border to go into Mexico in the first place. And that is the medical tourism industry, which is, it's a pretty huge industry. We've got some data here. And in 2021, which is a couple years ago, was valued at 10.4 billion. So that's a lot of money. The global market is projected at a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 13% through 2031. Okay, so you're looking at 13% growth. And, what medical tourism is, if you don't know, it's people going to do different types of operations. And here are some of them. Cardiac procedures, orthopedic procedures, cancer treatments, gynecological. Did I destroy that word?
No, it's fine.
I said it right, but it didn't feel right rolling off the tongue.
You said it right.
Neurological and spinal.
Neurological.
Cosmetic surgery, dental treatments, and other types of procedures. So apparently you can get a better rate in other countries, which are the market drivers, high quality treatment at a low cost, and lower waiting times. So just looking at some of these numbers right here, wow. A procedure that costs around $55,000, you can go to Malaysia and get it for $2,500 to $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's for angioplasty.
Right.
So people travel from the U.S. They go to Thailand, Singapore, India, Malaysia. That's like the hot spot out there in Asia. So, Canada and Mexico obviously are part of it, but they're saying an increase in cardiovascular diseases are fueling a lot of the cardiac segment. So, man, that is just all this data is here telling you that, prices are going up. People are flocking to lower cost countries to get procedures and medicine in other parts of the world a lot less expensive than in the US. Uh, let's see here. Here are some of the players in the global medical tourism market. You got Fortis Healthcare, Apollo Hospitals. So some of these are some of the companies that are basically doing this. So I mean, if you're out there and you need some type of procedure, you might want to give some of these guys a shout out. Uh, and if you're trying to invest in a company, remember, you're looking at 13% growth rate from now till 2031. It's like another 8 years. These are the different type of procedures, which we already talked about a little bit. Asia Pacific, Latin America, Europe, Middle East, Africa. Um, that's where everyone's going to. These are the companies. Take a look at those. And let's see here. There's something else I noticed earlier. Uh, yeah, the key service providers. I was interested in these guys because when I'm looking at 13% and they're telling me that how explosive this industry is, I mean, I'm looking at these guys here and seeing which ones. I know Fortis has stock that's traded, so definitely not financial advice, but I'm looking at them. I got some more information that I pulled up here as I was researching medical tourism, and I should probably go to the banner up here real quick because that's what we're talking about. And let's see here. What I want to talk about here. Here it is right here. So this is kind of like, these are all the different segments, guys. And you can see kind of like where it's expected to be in 2027. So 4 years from now, you can see the growth. Dental treatment's going to go up. Cosmetic treatment going up big time. Cardiovascular, big time. Look at this cancer treatment. So the cancer treatments seem to be the ones that are kind of leading the pace. As it says down here, it's the dominant position. So, anybody out there with cancer, I'm helping you out here. Here's a look at the global market. And you can see kind of like where it's all at. So yeah, it's a pretty good report. I mean, I just did a quick Google search. Lots of information I was able to find here. I got more information. The key trends in the medical tourism market. A major factor that fuels the growth of medical tourism includes affordability and accessibility of good quality healthcare services, which we talked about. I mean, they're also saying that, like in America, some of these doctors are only allowed to do a certain amount of procedures per day. So, whenever you've got a limited supply of something, so supply and demand, limited supply, the demand goes up, hence the price goes up. That's what we're experiencing. Other places don't have those type of stipulations. This medical services, they're one of the companies that actually provides what they call medical concierge services. And this is kind of like, this is what they do. So when you go and pull them up, they've helped thousands of people. They provide insights on healthcare market. They collect treatment plans with cost quotes with different providers. And they have, booking and assistance with travel logistics. So they can help you out with all of that. Let's see here. So then I started saying, hey, what would happen if I was actually in need of one of these services, right? Because I'm just curious. If I wanted to go with Medico, I mean, it's pretty simple. I would come here, and I'm not sponsored by Medico at all. I just happen to find them in the search. It seems like I'm kind of promoting these guys. I'm actually not, right? But I'm just saying. So somebody might need this information. I thought it's kind of interesting. Very interesting. But you just come in here, fill out your diagnosis, your preferred country, your first last name, where you work at, your email address, telephone number, submit it to them, and then they'll get back to you. When you go to their site, and they tell you right here kind of like what they do. They're going to review your medical treatment requirements, the supporting medical documentation. They're going to interview you. They're going to search and give you 3 quotations for treatment. Okay? They'll book the treatment with the chosen service provider, so wherever hospital or whatever, doctor you want to go with. They'll start looking at your travel booking. They're even going to help you out with your visa, Jenny. So these guys are thinking of everything. They're going to get you an interpreter. You understand the language? Guess what? They'll have that guy waiting for you at the airport. Ground transportation, telephone support throughout the period of the treatment. These guys are like straight, full service. Okay? So then, what else did I do? This right here is just talking about travel plans. All this is just stuff I was looking at earlier today when I was just researching it, and I thought it was kind of interesting. All right here, they're telling you how easy this stuff is. They take care of everything. They send them a copy of your passport. They're going to get you a visa invitation letter. So this is just all the specifics on what I just mentioned. This right here is just a view of kind of like the cost comparison. So heart bypass surgery in the U.S., $130,000. You go to India, 10 grand. Pull out that credit card, swipe that, your heart's done. It's fixed. And this is the cost for surgery, including the hospital stay. So, anybody out there with some heart conditions, or maybe later on in life, you can be happy you was down here watching Grown and Social, because we're telling you this information, right? We're trying to help you out. So hopefully none of that happens to you though. But yeah, I found all this stuff. It was a quick Google search. Heart valve replacement, $160,000 in the U.S. Jenny, guess what? India,
Yes.
$9,000.
With a vacation.
Whip out the credit card. Your heart valve replacement, it's done. Angioplasty. Alexa, what's the definition of angioplasty?
Antiplaque is an adjective usually defined as acting to prevent or remove plaque.
No. Alexa, stop. Of course she didn't get that right? Hip replacement, I'm going to move on from that. Alexa, she's just not cooperating. Hip replacement, $43,000 in the U.S. Guess what? India, $9,000. Malaysia, $10,000. Knee replacement, your knee busted out, $40,000. All right? You go to Singapore, $13,000, $8,500 in India. So that's why people are leaving the U.S. and other places in droves to go to these places to get medical treatment for a lot cheaper than what they would in the U.S. So these are just some cost comparisons that we're looking at. Also, it's not just the major stuff that I have up here, these major surgeries. It's also for dentistry. So dentistry is kind of like probably the second biggest one. So if you need some implants, you can go to Mexico, save yourself $900. Let's see, what's the biggest savings here? It looks like crowns, $800 here, $375 there. You need some veneers, $800 here. Drive to Mexico, $120 here. So you said the people that were going to Mexico, they were going to get like plastic surgery or like a tummy tuck?
Yes. The young lady posted on her Facebook page that she wanted a tummy tuck, and she'd been talking about it for months. She was trying to convince people to go with her, and eventually she found 3 people who would go with her to get it done. A tummy tuck in the U.S. can be anywhere from $10,000 to anywhere around $10,000 or $5,000. So for her going over there, she probably could get it for about $1,500. And
Wow.
so the ride, she just they went across the border, and pretty much, you know, people don't necessarily get attacked like that in Mexico, especially U.S. Citizens, especially Black U.S. citizens, because you know we really are not that valuable in terms of stuff like that. So it's surprising that these people did it, and I'm thinking they're probably younger members of the cartel and really don't understand, their role.
Mm. Yeah, because they're messing around with the big guy's money, and they didn't like
Right.
that. Yeah, they didn't like that at all.
Right. No. And that was not a necessary crime. Like, I see the cartel as, business people, you know, albeit it's illegal. They are not necessarily in the business of kidnapping people that they're not gonna get any money from, or that hasn't done anything to harm them.
Hmm.
So that was probably a mistake. That was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a big mistake. And they said they thought they were Haitian drug smugglers.
Right. I mean, I don't know, but I do think that while people want to go to Mexico or want to go to another country, you need to make contact with the doctor and the facility before you go. Don't go down there looking around and asking questions,
Right.
because that's not a good look. You need to establish um, your connection, and as the article says, get a concierge, get somebody to pick you up, get that personal guide. Just don't go walking around looking for what you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what they might have done. They just went, and then unfortunately they stumbled onto a situation or a community that
Yeah, a bad situation.
right.
That went from, yeah, uh, tourism, to real serious, like real quick.
Right. And I think anybody who has traveled know that you set up your transportation, your transfers, your hotel, you set up all those things from the US. Albeit it might cost a little more, but you can't go somewhere you don't know where you're going.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
silly.
You would hope. Some people probably just go out there and, go after it.
Right. And if you had been there before, maybe you're like, this time I will, but then you really need to have a good idea of, the people, the place, the culture, the language. You need to really understand, you know, things. And for some people who have ventured further from home, if you've been to the Middle East, you need to understand the laws and customs before you just run right in and say and do what you think is permissible in the US.
Right.
So, that could be another issue as well.
Yeah. Here's just another kind of look. I mean, these are just comparisons. Like, I mean, some of this stuff is, another one. The thing that I thought was really interesting is like this right here, the gastric bypass.
Bypass, yes.
I mean, it almost looks like for that one, it almost looks like we're the cheapest place to go.
I know
Isn't that
somebody.
crazy?
I know somebody who got it done.
Yeah, a lot
And
of
what
people
I
get that done in the U.S.
right, and what I do know is I would recommend you do it in the US because it is something that's a lifelong process. It's a lifelong process. It's not, if you got dental work done, okay. But if you get that you need nutrition, you need support systems, you need maybe even if it doesn't go right, you're gonna need help again and again. So I wouldn't recommend you leaving the country for that. No, I would recommend, the stuff, the maybe the liposuction, maybe the hip replacement, or um, you know, maybe the implants or a
Mm-hmm.
facelift. But I don't know if I'd recommend some of the others because of the fact that they are. And then you must research your hospital or wherever you're going. And just don't think about the funds only.
You get
Because
a
cheaper,
facelift.
right? Cheaper is not necessarily better.
Better service. You know what? I did some research on that too.
Mm-hmm.
That I'll get into next. Since you mentioned it,
Right.
because so apparently there is an agency.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see here, and they're called. Where's the agency called here? Come on. Oh, I think the page is just. Let's see here. I got it. Oh, you know what? Oh, and then I got something else to talk about too. It's called the Joint Commission International.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just do Joint Commission International, you can do a search on that. And what will happen is you can go see like who's accredited. These are
Good.
people that kind of look, to make sure that you're not gonna get cement put in your heart valve transplant. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that's not a good look.
Right.
So you can come to the Joint Commission International, and you can just select whatever country you're trying to go
Mm-hmm.
to. If you're looking at one of these medical places, and you can see if they're accredited, by this organization.
Right.
So be safe. If you do decide that you want to go drive to Mexico or Canada to go get yourself a lower cost treatment for whatever reason, hopefully nobody's sick, but the reality of the matter is people get sick, they get older, they get injured, and to be honest, the cost of everything is going up, especially medically, and insurance is paying less. So if you are one of these people that are looking to go get some type of procedure done, um, do your due diligence and make sure these guys are accredited. So that's one source that you can look at. But something that I found very interesting is that this story right here that I found,
Mm-hmm.
um, there is there's a company. Uh, I'll just read this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine needing a knee replacement and having your employer offer you two options. You could pay $3,000 out of pocket and have the procedure performed in the United States, or you could opt to take an all expense paid vacation to Costa Rica. On top of the free trip, you also receive a $2,500 bonus check. So, some employers, like Hickory Springs Manufacturing
Mm-hmm.
out in North Carolina, this is real.
Right.
What they're going to do is um, it offers to send employees abroad for medical treatment. It said that they save $10 million on healthcare costs by going
Mm-hmm.
to lower cost countries.
Yep.
So this employer is actually, instead of paying all these expensive premiums, employer
Mm-hmm.
based premiums, they're saying, hey, we're going to go get it. We'll do it ourselves cheaper,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll give you this bonus money, for you to go out there and get your surgery done.
And they
And they're
probably have
still saving money.
some kind of understanding with the wherever they're going. So that also probably cuts down on the cost as well. The hotel, the hospital. You see what I'm saying? So there is. I mean,
Yeah,
it seems like a win-win.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you need this surgery, you're working for that company. I mean, this stuff might pick up because, like I told you, the industry is growing 13% per year. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if things start getting to where it's just out of control, I mean, a lot of smaller companies might just start going this route.
Yeah.
Especially with the accreditation firm that they have. If these
Mm-hmm.
guys can get places that are accredited,
Right.
make people feel secure,
Mm-hmm.
because the accreditation comes from the United States.
Right.
So it's basically this. This right here kind of goes why you're seeing some of the high prices. And this is what I talked about earlier. You're saying like heart surgeons, for example, they got
Mm-hmm.
restrictions placed on how many can be performed per day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the logic is capping the maximum number of procedures. They ensure the doctor isn't too tired to perform a surgery. It's kind of like what they do to truck drivers,
Right.
to keep them from falling asleep on the wheel and that type of deal. So they do the same thing with, doctors and, dentists. So they got a cap on the amount that they can do. So what happens is now you got a long waiting line of folks, and then that's boosting up the price. You know. So um, I think I think that's all I got. I mean, you know, I just looked into that just because of the tourists from Mexico, and something else I'll probably look into. And Jenny, I know you'll appreciate this, but there's also what they call, so you got the medical wellness, like procedures, but there's also like mental wellness tourism.
Yes, I would
Um,
appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that now. I've got some reports here that I'm looking at that they kind of talk about, you know,
Places you can go.
like, yeah, spa treatments.
Right.
And not just spa treatments, but like springs, water springs, different heat springs that you can go to. Um, it's a big industry. It's like a big, big, big
It's a
major
major,
industry.
major and big.
That it is. And here are the numbers. And it's just it's growing.
This is
7.5
something
percent.
this is something I
So
definitely want to do.
yeah, I'm
It's
not gonna get into it
a chance
now.
to
And I know
travel.
you,
Okay.
yeah, I know you got your opinion on this, but and actually I want to hear just a quick stop. But
Right.
this kind of tells you that it's just more than spas and going to these beaches, out in South Beach doing yoga. This is like
Well,
real deal
well,
wellness.
we don't recommend you go to one where people spit on you because
Oh yeah,
we saw I think it was
Bobby
Bobby
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah,
He went to a retreat that people were spitting on him as some kind of healing. Choose something that is more logical.
yep, yeah. So, um, wow, that took a little longer than I thought.
Yeah. And we're yet to go to the light stuff. Like, have you guys ever considered a side hustle? Do you need a side hustle? We just realized the craziest side hustle ever. So, Beat, if you would show, um, do you like cuddling? If you like cuddling, you can make it a side hustle. You can become a professional cuddler. So if you're interested, we saw a TikTok that we want to show you guys about three things that this young lady learned as a professional cuddler. I think the concern I have about being a professional cuddler, well, it's $40 to $80 per hour, so that's great. I guess my concern is safety and this uh, the borders and boundaries that you know are are a part
Yeah,
of this.
yeah. So I mean, here's the deal with the cuddling. So cuddling is, I mean, it's a thing. It's like a real thing. A lot of it, it's not just in California. I mean, it's in Texas, it's in Georgia, it's in Chicago. So I mean, and it's growing. Um, they literally have people that will come and cuddle with you. I mean, it's like calling an Uber, except for they come and you know, most of the
Cuddle.
sessions are at your home or residence, but they do have virtual sessions too.
What
But
does
as
that
Jenny
look
stated,
like?
with the virtual sessions, I'm not sure because I couldn't find information on it, but I would assume that they probably ask you to grab something, some type of prop, and maybe teach you different cuddling
Okay.
positions.
Okay.
That's what I would suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because, one of these companies is called the Cuddle Sanctuary.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
And if you go to the Cuddle Sanctuary, you can look at their services. But what I thought was interesting is they actually have cuddling training.
Oh.
Okay. So you can come here and you can get trained to be a professional cuddler. Okay. And if you want to, you can lead groups on how to lead amazing cuddle events. All right. Uh, virtual cuddling session. How to give a virtual cuddling session. See? For $20, you can learn how
I'm
to do
good.
it.
I'm good.
You gotta, open up the pocketbook and then self-guided course for professional cuddlers, $129. You can go through that course and you can be certified to be a professional cuddler. All right. So I would suspect that let's see here. I would suspect that I thought I had it up. It would be teaching you how to do these cuddling positions. Okay, you see that cuddling position right there? It's holding hands. Okay, and you just kind of sit side by side, and then you hold a hand. The benefit of this is it's just creating closeness with the person that you're with. Here's another position: sitting closely and facing each other. I didn't know that was cuddling, but apparently that's cuddling. So the next time you're just kind of sitting close, that's actually considered cuddling. So fellas, your woman tells you you're not cuddling enough, just sit side by side, get your leg over her knee, and this is called sitting closely and facing each other. I don't know if they got a technical name for that one. Lying with their head on your lap. I'm sure that there are actually technical names for these, but you'd have to take the course in order to figure out the technical name so you can pass the test. But here's another one. She's sitting down, you're laying down, head in the in the legs. That's actually one of my favorites, especially when you get that head rub. Comfort, relaxation, security. That's exactly what I feel. A seated hug. It's another cuddling position for sitting. A lounge chair position. Yeah, lounge chairs. You got a good one, a deep one. This one right here, you just put your arms around. Let's see here. Romantic cuddling position. The spooning. Okay. I'm not going to say too much more about this visual. Crook of the arm, aka half spooning. Okay. That's kind of like the one that you're normally doing when you're laying down at night and you're just kind of watching, Netflix or something. Half spooning. Okay, resting your head on the chest. This is easy. All this stuff is easy. Yin yang. I don't know about this one. The yin yang position, that knee is kind of close to the face. I mean, you stretch out that knee and bring it back, then you might need it. You might need to go to a head. You might need a medical procedure. You'll be flying off to Mexico or driving long distance to get your procedure done. All right. So those will look at some of the positions, and so it's interesting. You can train, and let's see here. I do have something that's interesting though. To be totally honest with you here, I want to share it. It's very interesting. It's so interesting. And this is a professional color. Okay. And actually, what she's going to do here in this session is she's actually going to tell you what she tells her client when she does a cuddling session. All right.
So Isaac brought it to my attention that he wasn't aware of my code of conduct. So I'm just going to go over it with him real quick and make sure that he feels safe in the session with me. Even though he's gay, I think it's important that he knows this because there's a lot more than just the platonic boundaries, but also rules around communication and stuff like that. So number one, you have to be 18 or older.
29.
I know, yeah, he's 29, well over 18. We both agree to be free of mind-altering substances and therefore fully able to give consent. We will communicate what is mutually comfortable throughout the session. This is strictly platonic, Isaac, so no funny business. So minimum clothing is a tank top and shorts. No touching boobs, butt, crotch, or any kind of intentional genital stimulation of any kind. No kissing on any part of the body, so obviously the lips, but also like the head or the hand, anything like that. No grinding or dry humping. We both agree to have good hygiene. All right, you seem to smell okay, Isaac. You passed the test. Your confidentiality will be respected. Now, obviously, Isaac here is willingly going on camera.
Yep, I consent.
But if he tells me anything throughout the session, you're allowed to tell me not to share that on camera, and I will respect that. And if you get sick of me, Isaac, you are allowed to end the session early. You are not a prisoner here, and same goes for me. If I feel uncomfortable for any reason, I'm also allowed to end the session. Another thing I just want to bring up to you, Isaac, I know you're gay, it's unlikely to happen, but if you get a boner during the session, it is not a big deal. We simply ignore it, adjust accordingly so I don't feel it against me. We can take a break if you need, but there's no need to feel shame, embarrassment, or anxiety around that issue. Do you have any questions for me, Isaac?
I don't think so. This is pretty helpful to go through this.
Good. I hope this helps you feel more safe today.
Definitely.
All right, we'll see you in the next video where we actually...
Wow. Okay. So if you're out there cuddling, she told you what's up. Those are the rules of engagement. You get a boner, no big problem. You just kind of readjust, and keep it moving. At least that's what they say. And it looks like I lost Jenny J here on the connection, so we'll wait for her to pop back in here. Let me see. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on with the rules of engagement. Let's see here. Let me see what else. But I got some more on cuddling, because not only do you have like the hourly sessions, I mean, you also got like these overnight sessions. And here is someone that's actually gonna talk about it. Hold on 1 second, though. I think I just did the wrong thing. This one here. Here we go. Yeah, let's see what she has to say about this here. Come on.
All right, let's talk about cuddle therapy overnight sessions. Hi, my name's Kaylee. I'm a cuddle therapist and a boundaries and consent educator. So wait, you're telling me you do overnight sessions and I'm supposed to believe that this is platonic? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To go into a little more detail. In my practice, the only time I agree to do overnight sessions is to aid or for the purposes of sleep. Some of my clients have insomnia. Some of my clients have recently experienced the loss of a loved one, and sleeping solo in a space is really challenging. Some people have anxiety or restless mind at night, and another presence there, another nervous system to regulate with, helps quiet that mind. I cannot diagnose anxiety. I certainly cannot have the qualifications to treat insomnia, but what I do have the ability to do is listen to my clients, and if they tell me something is beneficial for them and that we agree the purpose is to aid in sleep, we can try it and see if it works. The same code of conduct applies. So it is still a platonic service and all the other code of conduct is applied to those sessions. We add another stipulation that sleeping hours happen. The reason for that stipulation is I don't want to set the incorrect expectation that for the entire duration of an overnight session, I will be available to chat or be present in the same way as a shorter session during the day. Overnight sessions can be 6-8 hours. And I definitely need my sleep. So if we do agree that this is for the purposes of aiding with sleep, my inability to be present and hold the kind of space that I do in a daytime session is a non-issue. And I will say that in my practice, overnight sessions are rare. And when they do happen, they're pretty magical. There are a few feelings in this world that are better than getting a good night's sleep after a long time of sleeplessness. And on a purely selfish, very personal note, getting the honor of being the person that can hold someone until they fall asleep. They feel comfortable enough, safe enough, still, peaceful enough. Because I'm there. Man, that's a really good feeling. And the sessions aren't about me, and they're not about getting my needs fulfilled. I just feel really grateful that coincidentally, that happens. I'd love to know what other questions people have about this, so please comment below and ask your questions. I'm also curious, can you empathize with the desire to have someone hold you until you fall asleep? Has that ever been something in your life that would have benefited you? Let me know.
Whoa. Maybe you missed some of that, but she was just talking about overnight sessions, and maybe you heard the end there. Yeah, she was saying that it's an honor for her to give someone that pleasure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the.
Hold on. It sounds like your mic is turned.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good now.
I understand the purpose, and I understand that there are people out there who definitely would need it. I think my biggest thing is safety. How do you know when you get to somebody's house that they haven't changed their mind? And how do you know it's safe? Have you met them before? Do they come into the office and sign a contract? What happens? Do you have a company that you have an alert button that you press when, things are not going quite right? So that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting, that you say that because, you know what? I should play it right now. Some of this, I mean, that would it'll actually be this one right here. I mean, it's not all fun and games and roses, as they say.
Right.
Look at this one. So this is a professional cuddler who is apparently trying to do an overnight session.
Right.
This is your daily reminder to please stay safe out there. Last night I had a cuddle session that went horribly wrong. I had to go to the police station earlier today to try to file a report for battery. Because of the nature of what I do, I can't press charges. I can't move. It hurts. Bruises all down my sides, my back. I had to cancel a 5-hour session where I was supposed to make $400 tonight because I am in so much pain. Consented to the cuddling, I did not consent to what he did to me. I've never been so scared in my life. Would think when someone's crying their eyes out and begging you to stop that they're not enjoying what you're doing. But that just seemed to turn him on. I've reported his account. Police can't do anything. Now I have to take more than a week off of work, which is going to make me lose income just so I can heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the thing too. It's kind of like, what if you're in that session? You're in like a session with a 280-pound dude, and I don't know what that situation was, but if he falls asleep on you or kind of like acts like, you know what I'm saying, he's sleeping or, don't want to let go,
Right.
what do you do for a situation like that, which could have been, what she was going through right there.
Right.
So there's some risk involved. When you're talking 40 to $80 an hour. I think I got one here where the therapist is saying that she charges $100 an hour, either
Mm-hmm.
$80 an hour if she has to figure out what you want, or $100 an hour like if you're in control and know what you want, something like that here. Let's see it. Let's bring that one up real quick. It's kind of interesting. So she does two types of professional cuddling, and mind you, we just saw how risky some of this stuff can be.
All right. Now, this is the one that most people ask for, is professional cuddling, which is great, easy, pretty accessible for me at least. It's something that I enjoy giving. So there are two types of professional cuddling sessions. I have names. These are my names for these sessions. I don't know of anybody else who's taken on these names. I have an empowered session and a supportive session. The empowered session is $80. The supportive session is $100. Now, the empowered session is basically a coaching session. It's one way that the industry does identify that. And what it means is that you're asking for what you want. You may need support in figuring out, asking for it. I'm holding space. I'm here to just, listen, help you identify things. But really, I'm not bringing in any kind of input into what I think the session looks like for you. So it's about you accessing within yourself. Yes, I would like to be spooned, or would you hold my hand, or you're the one that's guiding the session. That is the empowered session. And then there's a supportive session where I'm the one that's, because of the things you've told me, I've asked you additional questions, and then I support you in the session. Right? I'm the one that's creating the session. It's a much more therapeutic session. So it depends on kind of what you're looking for. Are you looking for no, I want to direct it, I know what I want, I'm going to tell you, $80. Or if you're like, no, I just want to check out, I don't want to think about anything, can you just hold me, take care of me, kind of thing, and and I'll figure out kind of what I sense from you, what might be needed, and we're just going to flip the coaching part.
Yeah. So that's what I got for cuddling right there. We saw the good, the bad,
And
and the ugly.
yep.
So looks like it's a good profession, but as with anything, you got to be safe. You're always going to have those outlier situations. Just seems like and I mean, I was going to say, it's there's men cuddlers out there too. So it's not just women that are going out there to do cuddles. You got guys going
Right.
out there too.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
I mean, I won't knock it until I've tried it, because but personally, I feel like if I were to cuddle with somebody, it would have to be somebody that I knew well, because the comfort level is just not there.
yeah, especially when
So,
you're not looking at them, or unless you think of a cuddle position to where you're actually looking at the person. But that would,
right.
I don't know if that's even more weirder.
Hello, I'm your cuddler.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're like
Yeah,
in the bed looking at this stranger,
right,
and you're like, you don't want to close your eyes because you don't know if
right.
you
And then let's think about this.
awkward.
Yeah, let's think about this. People like people are confused sometimes. You know, you come in
Hmm.
for one situation, and then they feel there is an indication that you are there for another reason.
Yeah, yeah. And you dropped when we were talking about some of the rules of engagement, but they kind of go over all that stuff when they show up.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get a boner, she's like, oh, that's completely fine. She's like, we'll just readjust, you know?
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
so long as, there's no stimulation, you readjust. You know what I'm saying? So, no problem. No problem, man. No problem. All right.
What if you are an exhibitionist?
Define exhibitionist. In what sense?
So you have people who walk around without their clothing. You have
Oh,
people who do things to themselves
right.
in front of other people.
Hmm.
I mean, what happens then? I mean, this is like the most scariest
Next
profession in
level.
the world.
Next level.
Yeah.
So I take it you're not gonna be doing any side hustle. You don't gig economy
No, 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 no.
cuddling for you.
Safety. $80 don't mean that much to me. It doesn't mean my safety or possibly my life.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
How about selling your excrement?
Ooh, that's that's a gig. That's a gig economy too, isn't it?
Right. You could sell your poop, people.
It's real.
Hmm.
It's real.
Yeah,
Did you send me something? Is
I
that one of the
did.
ones?
I did. But that was
Uh,
maybe Wednesday or so. So that's probably further up.
okay.
Um,
Yeah. Well, let's hop into Jenny's corner.
okay.
You want me to pull up?
Yeah. So I want to talk about people marrying and age gaps. So there is a taboo that says women should not marry younger men, and that definitely you should marry older men. Um, the first one I want to talk about is what is considered the best age gap to get married, and apparently it is people who are the same age that stay married the most, according to this survey.
Studies say to avoid divorce, marry somebody your own age. If there's a 1 year age difference, divorce is 3% more likely. 5 year, 18%. 10 year, 39%. 20 year, 95%. And if there's a 30-year age difference, you have no chance of survival.
So, what do you think?
No
Do you
chance of
think
survival.
do you think that an age gap? I'm not talking about a 30-year age gap because somebody is in a wheelchair and somebody else is um is walking around. But what do you think about significant age gaps like 10 or 15 years or even 20?
Yeah, that is like some people can do it. It just seems
Right.
like that's like a lot of for if you're older, you're gonna feel like what I'm saying, like like a parent. I would imagine. I mean, there's literally some parents that are that much older, and then if
Right.
you're that older one, you're gonna feel like, wow, I'm watching this kid. Unless you're, unless you got a adolescent mindset,
Okay.
um, which does happen.
Right.
But I
Mhm.
mean, I don't, I'm not a big believer in those large age, gap ranges.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just
Right.
not. I don't think they're good. I think one person. Well, I mean, unless it's like a situation where both people are benefiting, and a
Right.
lot of the times I don't know that it's love. I think it's more or less people getting what they want.
Right. So there's a
So
dependency. There's a dependency somewhere. Somebody's
yeah,
dependent. Or, and it can be both ways. It can be the older person who is dependent as well as the younger person who's dependent.
hmm
Um, yeah, I don't know if I actually believe in significant age gaps. I think as people, I think in the initial stage, it's probably not bad. People are like, oh, it's okay. But then comes the later years, and then that's where people are like, I want to do something else apart from sitting in this house.
right.
So this lady, her name is Trey Mom. She dated an older man,
Trey mom.
Trey Mom. So I guess that might be her son's name. She dated an older guy,
hmm
and he was 20 years older than her. And the video is there if you want to play it.
hmm And sometimes it just takes it sometimes to load.
These young girls who think it's cute that you're dating a your older man, it may be cute now, but it's going to get old and boring. I know, been there, done that. I dated a man that was older than me. We was together 24 years, married 22. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have done it. I didn't think about him being older and that in later years that his body is going to go through changes and he wasn't going to be able to do some of the things that he was able to do at that time when me and him was dating. See, you're having a good time now. You're not thinking about um the future. I was that way. I didn't think about the future. I met him when I was 25. He was 50. There was a 25-year age difference.
Whoa.
Older men are very controlling and they're very jealous.
hmm I can see that.
The last 10 years of his life, I became his caretaker. I had to take care of him. I was his caretaker and his roommate.
Wow. So after when it's all said and done with, this guy was incredibly jealous,
Mhm.
probably, and she said abusive,
Mhm.
and she ended up having to take care of him.
Right.
And what do you think? What do you think she did? What do you think she did?
Well,
You
that
think she peed
movie.
in his ramen?
I think that there's the
Did
movie.
she not change him? You know
That's
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
His bed. It's
I,
like,
yeah.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You got to
I
be
think
careful. You got to treat people right.
yeah, but also she looks around 50 something. I don't think she's 60. Or if she's 60, she would have spent from 50 to 60 taking care of a 80, let's see, 25, 75-year-old man,
Mm-hmm.
until he turned 85.
Mm-hmm.
So that meant medical, hospitals, doctors, wheelchairs, walkers, bedpans. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, crazy.
Right. And you're not being paid to do it. And the person is fully dependent on you. So, one of the things I want to clarify is that I want us to remember that that can happen to any couple. You could have somebody you're the same age with, and one person gets ill.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say that, that only happens in that case. But marrying somebody this significantly older, it was a given that at some point you would be the caregiver. So that's what I'm saying. That it, and as I said, it might not be a big deal when she's 25 and he's 50, because they still can enjoy going out or whatever it is together.
Right.
But then he becomes older and older and bedridden, right? And there are 80-year-olds that are active and not in bed. However, that still is a significant difference, because by around 8 o'clock, an 80-year-old I would think would be like, okay, let's call it a night.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. While you who are is a little bit younger might be like, oh, let's do something. So I mean, and
But
women do this a lot because we are told that we should marry older men for security, for financial security. They'll treat us better, or men only want younger women.
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. But 25 and 50. I mean, come on. I
Right.
wonder why is she dating a 50-year-old man?
Or maybe it was a financial need.
She didn't tell us that, did she?
No, she did not say that. But I think anybody who is older, especially that significant older, will have a few items, a few things. A nice car, a nice house, a nice,
Mm-hmm.
a little bank account that can, stretch to you, buy you nice shoes, buy you nice clothes, you know. So I could see that happening, especially if you might have a child that you need a father figure, and a secure father figure for.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one I want to talk about is this lady. She is saying that she prefers significantly younger men than herself, and she will never date an older man because women are um, are more active than men, and
Oh
so
wait.
you need a younger man.
It looks like she stitched that video.
Yeah, I think she stitched her video, but it wasn't that much. I don't think it was that much.
Yeah, she did stitch it.
Uh huh.
Dating older versus younger men. As you said, she's dating younger men, huh?
Yeah, she's dating a younger man.
Older men are very controlling and they're very jealous.
I swear, one of the biggest scams of all time is that they convinced women that we should be dating older men. What the fuck? Go watch that whole video, it's linked in my caption. There's so many reasons to not date older men, and yet I have been told my whole life that I should be dating older. First of all, every woman I know has more energy than any man I know. My last boyfriend, before I got married, was 9 years younger than me, and I joked about him. I called him Grandpa. I ran circles around this dude. I was 40 and he was like 31 or 2. I don't know. Now I know if you can probably tell, I have ADHD. I'm a fucking chaotic mess. But I don't have children or any of those things that are literally drain women of all their energy. And yet every woman I know is doing so much shit, working full time, raising kids, doing all this shit at home, and still running circles around her husband. My husband is 5.5 years younger than me. He can't keep up with me, not even close. And that is just like energy level, okay? Let's talk about power dynamics, like that video is talking about. Older men tend to think that they're smarter than you. They tend to have more money because they're fucking men and they're gonna earn more money anyway, but also because they have, 5, 10, 15, 20-year jump on you in terms of income, which creates a power imbalance already. And under patriarchy, you're already fucked if you're dating a dude. And older men are also from less evolved generations. I'm Gen X. I grew up with 16 Candles, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, all these movies that are like, hey nerds, go grape women while they're drunk. This was before, Schmeg's positivity, and it's also before like online porn, whatever. I also wouldn't want to grow up in this age. But my husband and most of my guy friends that are 5, 7 years younger than me are way more evolved than men my age who are fucking dinosaurs stuck in the fucking 50s. And now let's talk about Schmegs. My late 30s, my into early 40s, I was scared of my drive. It was insatiable. Still kind of is. You think any older men could ever keep up with that? No! Plus, older men didn't want me because they want 20-year-olds they can fucking control. Because those women don't have enough terrible life experiences yet to not trust men and realize that men will fucking ruin their life. In fact, men are so afraid of women dating younger men or men their own age that when I wrote this article for Glamour, I'm making fun of the word cougar, by the way. I ended up having to write a follow-up about how I'd been dragged in the British media in 17 tabloids across the world, but especially the fucking British media. I hate them. Like, I'm not even kidding. They sluts shamed me all over the fucking press. But I have learned that whenever I get dragged by the media, like men, it's because I've hit a soft spot. They've been setting us up to date older men since we were little girls. Girls mature faster. Really? I don't believe it. I'm not condoning women dating men who are fucking 20 either, okay? But what I will say, most of the women I know in healthy relationships are with men their age or younger.
Okay.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
so she's
A lot to
advocating.
unpack on that one.
She's advocating dating women dating younger men.
Hmm.
I think my concern with what she's saying is she's assuming that energy levels are the same for all men, right? So she's
Right.
saying that if
Yep.
she's young, if she's younger, if the man who's her age, her energy is higher than his. Um, she's also saying that women tend to have a higher libido um, the more they age, and that an older man has a hard time keeping up with that. So, I mean, what do you think?
I mean, she had some points. I mean, you know, guys are gonna make more money if they've got like a huge head start.
You're right.
That's just like common sense, right?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So some of that stuff, she was just going. She was going so many different places, like so fast,
She says she has ADD.
and it's kind of like, you know what? I believe it. I believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I caught that part of it. So she kind of is right. I mean, but 25, what she initially stitched, 25-year-old gap, I think that's just kind of a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of a lot. So she had some points with the earning income. They've been there longer, but I think with all these relationship things, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks.
I think she has one point that I think is that if you date a man who's older than you, he might not have grown up in the same era as you. And she said that younger men are evolved, which means that they're realizing that women are not just primarily, homemakers and people to, sleep with. They're actually playing an active role in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so to that point, I can attest that that younger people might not treat you like, you should be barefoot and pregnant. They might treat you as an equal. So, or more of them might treat you as an equal. So she had a point with that, I thought. So that's all I have.
That's all you had?
Yeah.
That's not all you got because I can always go to my inbox
And there's something in there.
and see some juicy material uh, that you got. Kind of like this one. All right, let's see.
Don't you want to be with a woman that is worldly, educated, well traveled?
Hell no, they don't. No guy wants an independent, financially savvy, emotionally mature woman because later on, these women become really hard for these guys to control. I've been a therapist for 7 years. My population is the South Asian population, and I have come across this trope in our Desi community so often. The attraction is towards the independent girl, and they're gonna date the independent girl, but they will always go back and marry the girl who is conservative, traditional, who is hyper interdependent on them. At times, they might marry the independent girl too, but later on, as soon as the marriage happens, they will be asked of that girl to give up her entire independence, the way that she thinks, the way that she acts, the way that she behaves, because it doesn't coincide with culturally what these men want. This is such a phenomena I've seen in the Desi community, and it still boggles my mind that it exists, but I know why. Go to part two.
Don't you want to be with the woman that is.
So she gets it. That's all I got to say about that one. She gets it. What were we just talking about that?
So
Like
you're
this.
saying you wouldn't want to marry a independent woman?
So the thing is with the independent women thing, right?
Hmm.
The only thing that I have against that, I don't mind you being independent,
Right.
but my thing is don't act like you're independent from me. Um,
Okay. That that
like
I
you know what I'm
that I do
saying?
agree with. Yes.
Yeah, like don't act like we're not a unit. Don't act like you know what I'm saying. Like there's two of us, or that you can do without me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Don't act like you're so strong that you don't need a man. You don't need me. Right?
Right.
I don't want to feel like that. Not as a
Yeah.
man, as a leader. Generally, we don't want to feel like that.
Right. Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
agree. I think I
yeah,
agree with you that if you choose to have a partner, you must acknowledge their role in your life.
yeah, yeah.
And if you can't do that, then you might need to just, be alone. The thing is that I think is that men sometimes give mixed signals about what they actually want. And so I think a lot of times women really don't know. So they might want an independent woman, but at the same time they want some dependency. Um, in what aspect? What exactly do you want? Do you want to take care of her financially? Well, most men can't in this society. Do you want to be the primary decision maker? Maybe you don't have enough life experiences to do that. Do you want to lead in, you know, the decisions? I mean, what aspect of supporting her or do you think you want? Like, what aspect of it that you think you feel like this is where I would want to shine or where I
Mm-hmm.
would want to say, don't do everything by yourself?
Where would I want to see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever want to see it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, remember, is it the finances? Are you saying that you want to be her to depend on you for finances?
No, I mean it doesn't necessarily mean to be a dependency. Because generally speaking, you should be financially equipped to take care of the
Yourself.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if it's now a situation to where it's a household, you guys are like a unit,
Mm-hmm.
then you should be able to run that household. Ideally, you should be able to run that 100%.
Right.
Now, me personally, I'm more of a 50% guy. I mean, I'm just. Now, I mean, it's just kind of like with basic expenses, I'm kind of like a 50% guy, but kind of like when I'm out and about traveling the world type stuff, it's kind
Right.
of like I'm normally kind of leading on all that type stuff.
Okay.
Investments, things like that. I'm generally leading on that type of stuff.
Okay.
But I do believe in, unfortunately, just because of the way the society is set up, and it's because of my own financial misgivings, if you will. Because if I had it, I would do it 100%. Because
Right.
you know what I'm saying. But to live good nowadays, I mean, unless you like, making a really substantial amount of money, it's gonna be tough. To be
I
totally
think
honest
there's
with you.
somebody. Did you see somebody? Is there
Um,
somebody?
hmm? What's
Is
that?
there's a comment?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh huh.
Okay.
Zainab
Okay.
said salam. I
Yeah.
highlighted his comment.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, my question is so okay. So the finances is 50-50. Um, what aspect
Well,
do
I
you
mean,
feel
but
like?
yeah, I mean, and I told you about that. That's only because in an ideal situation it would be 100%.
Yeah, but what
But
what
you
what
know,
aspect
it's
do you feel that she should like acknowledge you as a leader?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that gets into whole gender, role relationships.
So
You know
you're
what I
saying
mean?
you believe in traditional gender roles and that the man takes care of
I mean, I'm not
manly
me
stuff?
man, you woman, but it's kind of like at the end of the day, it's kind of like a man is generally going to want to lead, right?
Okay.
And he's generally going to find someone that's going to allow him to do that.
Right.
I don't mind a woman making her own stuff and being independent, whatever. But my thing is I need to feel as if we're still in a situation where I'm the man, you're the woman.
Right.
Now
Mhm.
that can be more complex because certain guys have certain ideals of what the woman should do. Now, for
Right.
me, you don't need to come in and cook and clean, and do all kind of stuff. My thing is just to kind of be a partner. You know what I'm saying? Be someone that makes someone I can talk to. Um, but then again, I'm unorthodox,
Mhm.
so I definitely can't speak for every man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm kind of happy about that because
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
the
I
herd is you know what I'm saying? It's like I mean, they doing their thing and I'm doing my thing.
right.
And
And I think you're
it's
right.
hard for us to coexist.
I
It's
think you're
hard for
right
us to
in the sense
coexist.
where the couple themselves will have to determine what their relationship dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So they're gonna determine their relationship dynamic.
Mhm. Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I think they would
yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, so that's all I had to say about that one. I guess you ran that one dry. You ran that one dry.
Right. I think that
Oh wait, hold on. Is this Kevin Samuels I see in my inbox? Hold on, I got to play this one. Oh, never mind. I ain't gonna play that one. Alright, I ain't playing that one. I don't know why I got that at all. I got. Oh, I'm not even gonna play that one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So
Did we talk about the poop? Did you find the poop?
I didn't find it in my inbox, so it
Okay.
must be. I think it's one of the ones that says it's not available any longer.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um. Oh, hold on. What's this though? Let me look at this real quick. This might be interesting. This might be one to roll out into the sunset with.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Let's see what you're talking about here.
2 days ago, I ran into my ex fiance that I haven't seen in at least 10 years.
10 years.
I cannot tell you the thanksgiving and thoughts that arose in me when I remembered how much I loved him, how much I prayed that it would work out, how much I sacrificed for it to work out. But let me tell you, I would not be who I am. I would not be where I am. I wouldn't live where I live, have what I have. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't have anything to do with money, but it has something to do with position in life.
I'm glad she clarified that.
When things don't work out with who you want them to work out with, respect God's choice for you. Because where he is in life right now is so different from where I am in life right now. And if you connect yourself to someone whose purpose and direction is completely different from what God has for you, you could potentially be limiting yourself to what they're supposed to be doing. And now you're stuck. So I left that encounter, I spoke or whatever, but I left it thinking, oh my God, I'm so glad that did not work out. You will get to a place in your healing journey where you will encounter people from your past, and you will be so far removed from that you will be able to say, I'm so glad that did not work out. Be encouraged.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's what's up.
That's a good one. I think a lot of times if you're the type of person who, you're goal oriented, you want anything you've started to have a successful ending, or you want to have it progress. You don't want to invest in anything and then it just goes away.
Right.
And so I think what she's saying is that sometimes things are, the rug is pulled out from underneath you, and you're like, how did that happen to me? Or why did that happen? Or, you're holding on to something that's dead. It's actually dead and you're holding on to it. And I think her message was, if it was taken from you, there is a good reason, and just trust the process. Trust the process.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I like that story she shared. I mean, it wasn't nasty. It wasn't,
No.
oh yeah, look at me, I'm doing better than you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of
Right.
like she was like, look, I'm happy for where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm financially secure. It's not all about the money. It's all about kind of like the mindset, which
Right.
I kind of kicked that off at the start of the show. It's kind of like it ain't always. We do a lot of what we do to get money, but you can always replace that money. You know what I mean? The people around you, the times that you share, Those are the most important things. Isn't that something though? A lot of times you need money though to kind of make those things
Yes, you do. But I
happen.
but I also believe that if you're with the right person, you could have 50 cents and it will be the happiest moment of your life. And you could be with the wrong person and have millions of dollars and you're miserable to the extent that you'll kill them.
Murdoch, Alex Murdoch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to a lesser extent, Will Jada Smith. I mean, hopefully in a
Right.
better space right now. But I mean, that just goes to show you. You can have. I mean, this Alex Murdoch dude though. That right there was to the point to where you're gonna kill your own child.
Right.
I mean, come on, people.
And I think I always draw this analogy. You'll see children who are in places that, it's poor, destitute, they're hungry, and you'll notice how joyful they are. And you'll notice children in nice houses, lots of food, lots of games, and they're just angry, miserable, upset.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells you that, possessions are not, the most important aspect of life. Relationships are the most important aspects of life. Right?
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to be sure that you're not burning relationships. A lot of people just, run around here acting completely reckless,
Right.
burning relationships. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, they want people to play God and be like, forgive me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that may be the case.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, I can forgive anything, but I ain't gonna forget it, and I ain't gonna act like it ain't happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
right.
I may act like it ain't happened only to keep the peace. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna forget it. That's for sure.
Well,
and I might not act like it's happening in a moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna remember that it happened.
Well, for your own well-being, you need to remember, it's like you're walking in the dark and there's a hole in the road and you step in it. The next time you're walking by, you're going to remember that hole.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So it's not like it's not like you're walking around thinking, oh my gosh, there's a hole. But your reflexes, your memory, recalls that experience. And you would be stupid if you just went, well, it was nothing.
Right.
Right.
Well, I think we've done some damage here tonight.
I think we
almost
did.
2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna get ready to roll up out of here.
Right.
And you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
It means, folks, if you want to look fresh like Miss Jenny J, we're going to need you to run down to the Beatbox store, grab your Beatbox merch, and you would look as stunning as Jenny J. Keep the beat going, guys. Let's keep the beat going. Jenny, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah. Well, guys, we're thankful that you joined us. We had a good time, and we hope you did too. Join us every Friday night for some interesting information. We'll give you business news. We'll give you the latest TikTok talks. We'll give you valuable finance information. We are not finance people, but we know that we want to share whatever we know with the community. We're thanking you for just coming in here and sticking around with us. We're not professionals. We're just, wanting to reach out to y'all. So thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate you.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. And with that, we are out of here.
Thanks for tuning in.